Back another episode of Unsolicited Views. It's John.
Yo!
It's Sydney Pearsall. Oh, you didn't want your name on there.
But
Pear?
why you say my last name and nobody else's last?
I don't know.
Okay.
But
Yeah,
anyway.
why did you do that?
Yeah. The whole world knows you're popular though. You remember your old podcast? That
Well,
you
now they do.
Right.
Shit.
Have you talked to your ex co-host lately?
Yeah. We talked yesterday or maybe today earlier.
How you tell her you're doing on your new pod?
We don't talk about it that much?
You like this pod better yet?
No.
Why?
Because you keep asking me and I'm never going to say yes. I built that brick by brick.
I will listen. I used to listen to your old pod. We're funnier.
At what point?
Do you have better co-hosts?
Why are you trying to stop
No.
beef, yo?
Because she can't. Because nobody.
But I do think we got less funny towards the end. It got a little dry to me.
Yeah, y'all was like the horrible decisions pod towards like at one point. Remember they was a little rocky.
Are they done?
No.
No, they back. They're friends again.
Oh.
Well, they never was really. Well, they was friends in like high school. Anyways, no, it wasn't that. We were always good. It was just that I think in the beginning our topics were a little bit more salacious, and then our lives calmed down, so the topics calmed down.
Lives
What was some
calm
of those
down. What does
beginning
that mean?
topics?
How to be a good side chick.
Hold on.
Oh, that kind of calmed down.
Yeah.
Got it.
Y'all side chicks?
No, but it was like I came up with rules on how to be a good one. If you're gonna do it, like
Oh.
be a good
Have
one.
you ever been a side chick? Side guy?
I don't think so.
He's like, not to my
I
knowledge.
don't think so. Oh, hope not.
I'm about to say, Sid, do you know?
Probably. Oh, yeah.
You think you have?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
It don't make you feel. I guess it don't make you feel no kind of way. I guess.
At times.
Oh, okay.
It depends.
Back in my head, it wouldn't have mattered though.
Why?
I didn't care.
You didn't care about being a side?
No,
You don't.
it never crossed my mind. Like if you liked the girl back then, you wasn't thinking about that type shit.
Sure.
like
I ain't gonna lie to you.
you only care about it if she brought it up.
That goes into our topic. Whereas though you listen to so many other people's opinions, and you be like, you let that influence what you're saying. Like,
Yeah.
so much of what we care about now, we didn't used to care about.
Nope.
Which is why I think the problem is with side chicks these days.
What's that?
They care
They
too much
care
about
too
other
much.
people's opinion instead of like, you know why you here, stay in your lane, stay quiet, get what you get.
Hence the side part. They
Right.
don't know. They don't understand
They
the
don't.
side
They don't
part.
want to stay there.
They try to be mac and
And it's
cheese.
like, so then why would you sign up for something that you really wasn't okay with? And it's because a lot of them think that they'll one day become the main, but it's like, no, just
Poor
stay
little
macaroni.
Tink.
Be some
yeah.
great ass macaroni
Be
potatoes.
water.
or sweet potatoes. But they
Yeah.
don't want to stay there, and so that's what causes issues a lot of time with side chicks. Now that's why they got them signing DNAs and stuff like that now, because they don't want to stay in their side lane.
Do you feel like if you had a homegirl that was a side chick, do you feel that there's a moral issue with her?
So
That's a
the
good
moral
question.
side of me would say yes.
Other side, she need to get what she needed.
Yeah.
Do you
So
think?
it's like a dual opinion about that. I wouldn't respect someone dating someone that's married because it's like they just need to get a divorce or like. They
So
need to-
married is the threshold line.
Yeah, I don't like that.
So if they're not married, it's kind of like free game.
It's still a little, but again, if she's just there to like collect checks, get the checks.
I always I struggle with
There's
that.
so
I struggle
many
with that.
single people out here. Why not just? Why do you
Nobody
have
wants
to
somebody
be-
nobody don't want.
No.
Well, that's why I think it depends
That's
on what you're
tough.
there for. If you are there because you try and collect checks, then it may not be single niggas that got enough money to give you the checks that you want.
That's true.
So that's why I'm saying it depends on like why are you here? What is your
But I'm
motivation?
sure there's a lot of single niggas out here spending money for shit. That have money, and I don't know.
It be
Maybe they
seem
just
like
act
they
like
ain't
they
trying to
don't.
spend- right.
I think maybe that's what it is. They just don't be trying to spend the ones on the ones that want to be the side chicks.
Right.
I think.
Yeah.
Dang,
I've never been a
It's a
side.
tough, it's a cold world out there. That's
It's
why
hard in these
I'm
streets.
glad I ain't out there.
But yeah, we got attacked a lot for that because they was like, "How about you just don't be a side chick, just don't cheat." I'm like, we not telling people to cheat. We just saying if you gonna do it, don't go into it all emotional and stuff. Like, keep it together,
Keep your pimp hand strong.
right?
Everybody ain't
And
built
also
for that
like
life.
check in with yourself. If it's too much, hop out. Like go.
How
leave.
do people meet people to date now?
Allegedly on the apps, I wouldn't know.
No word.
The apps never worked.
I don't
for
know.
me.
We need some single people on here. to
run
really
some singles.
dig into this because I don't know now. Like
we ass out.
Yeah,
I can only tell you what used to happen.
I tried the apps a lot in my single days. It never worked. I never ended up in a relationship from anyone I met on the app. It was some cool first dates, but never ended up in a relationship. So I think that's the conundrum now is that like the apps are so popular that like you be on one app swiping, you seen the same people on a different app. And so people aren't meeting people as easily on the apps.
Would you say that people just like dating more than they like actually relationships?
No. I think people actually dislike dating more. They just want to jump into the relationship. They want to skip past the dating part, but that's not realistic.
Oh, wow.
I think people's standards is too high.
I think people's standards are way high. I think you can't.
Oh, not even standards. I think that expectations
are too high.
I think that expectation is something unrealistic.
Yeah, because apparently, like you can't have ice cream on a first date no more. I feel like that's a good first date.
Ice cream's a beautiful.
That's
first
what I'm
date.
saying.
Yeah.
I think
from Cold Stone was great.
I've done Cold Stone for a first date, and I paid with a gift card.
That's why I always be tripping off these
it.
conversations. Like when you see them and they always talking about, yeah, you gotta spend this much money. We gotta go here. I'm like,
yeah,
they ain't realistic.
No, you don't.
Because like a first date is to get to know the person.
Just
so like it
talking.
don't gotta be that big of a deal.
It's being around each other. I mean, you can go to one of them expensive restaurants, but you don't have to do that.
Yeah, it don't gotta be that
I
serious.
think people,
You really can go get some coffee. If both of y'all like coffee, Starbucks is cool. Let's go
I've
get you
done
the
Panera for a first date.
Go get you the venti.
Right.
I think people they watch TV and social media too much.
Yeah.
Social media.
Because a lot of what people be saying on social media, they don't be doing in real life.
And when you live that lifestyle, I can imagine when you live that lifestyle of being wine and dine trips, you actually wind up not ever building a relationship because you just always
That's
stuck
what
in
you're
the whimsical phase of it. Like
yeah.
You got bought.
Yeah, you're not living everyday life.
Yeah, you're not living and that's another thing. A lot of people's relationships, when you see, they look at these hyper extremes of relationships, whereas though they're not living everyday life. You ain't see when they just woke up and.
Because I was about to say, I think the beauty is in the routines. Like, okay, what are you like on a regular week where you still got to work? How are you like with your partner?
Right.
How can you be attentive during?
What happens
those weeks?
when you're stressed out?
Right.
And your partner isn't, like, what happens? Or
Yeah.
vice versa. What's going on?
Yeah, people ain't really tapping into that because that's not cute. That's not cool. That's not cute. That's
a relationship, though.
Yeah.
Relationship takes an immense amount of sacrifice, and sacrifice ain't always bad.
I think we gotta have a full relationship series. We did that back when we started.
We did. We can actually go back.
Just run those back because I think we
got another. I think we have different opinions. Well, I have the same. I think
we got different relationships. It's not really different opinions. I don't think.
My opinion is the same. I always go back. We have a harken back to episode. I want to go back to the episode where Dame, Mel, Maul, I think Palmer. I ain't gonna be like the Dorian Maul podcast. Say the other podcast.
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's weird.
He did.
But y'all said why be? I said I want to be. People don't want to be individuals. They said why be an individual? Who wants to be an individual? And they like argue me down. The big individualism.
I don't remember this. I would love point me to that episode.
I'm gonna point it to you.
I want to hear what I said.
It's cringy to hear.
Yeah, drop it in the group chat so we can all re-listen.
When I listened to that, I was just
said.
So
we were arguing with you about being an individual, and it was all of us saying this.
I feel like it was all. I know Dame's voice was the loudest, but I feel like y'all agreed.
I wish I could hawk it. I don't.
I'm gonna put it in.
But in an individual, in what manner? Like
in terms of like like at the time I was talking about like going against the norm and stuff like that. But like they were saying, who wants to be individual? Like you want to be a part of something.
That sounds like a Palmer thing, to be honest.
I think there's a point there because I feel like. That's why y'all all got iPhones. That's why y'all all got Apple Watches because y'all don't want to be different. Y'all want to be a part of this.
I see what she did. I thought she was being serious.
No, I am.
No.
Y'all want to be a part of this collective. So it is some truth to that.
That's some bullshit. I'm not letting you get that off. I'm not letting you get that off, Sid. Go ahead.
I think it's a little bit of truth to that.
I think you're right.
Yeah.
I think some people are more conformists and hype beasts.
Yes.
Than most. Like I never really been. I never been a trend follower.
Same. I mean, I have an Android.
It's actually more people in the world with Android than
I agree. It's very united.
But that's what I was just about to say. That's more of a cult than Apple. I think Apple people just louder.
No, I think Apple is more of a cult as far in the United States.
Yeah.
Apple is more of a cult.
You never seen a trap iPhone.
Actually,
now
that's all they got now. It's nothing lower than an iPhone. That's the funny thing. Barely though. You gotta like request a flip to have a trap. They will give you a trap iPhone. It's wild.
But no, what was I saying?
Being
Something
an
about the
individual.
Oh yeah, but I've been more of a free thinker, so to speak. So like, but I think some people just naturally more.
So what is a
performance.
free thinker?
I think
No, because let's dig into this, because I think some people use that.
to me, free thinker is somebody just trying to live by their own terms and make their own rules.
It is a person who rejects accepted opinions, especially those concerning religious beliefs.
See, are you rejecting them just to reject them, or are you rejecting because you really don't believe it? And that's
I think he likes questioning.
I love questioning.
Yeah.
I question anything, and also I believe everything somebody says about me has a lot more to do with themselves than me.
That's very
Interesting.
egotistical of you.
Why is that egotistical? I think that's true.
You said everything every time somebody.
Yeah, so like,
Every time.
let me drive it
Yeah, I'm
home.
gonna say everything.
If someone's typically if someone let's use more so if someone's talking about you negatively or the jokes that people have of you, it's always a direct reflection of how they feel about themselves inside.
Most of the time, yeah.
Most of the time it is. It
not
has
all the
nothing to
time,
do with
no.
you. Most of the time. I'm giving myself 90%.
So every time somebody's talking about you, it's because they hurt inside.
Insecure. It could be insecurity.
It could just be their.
I do the same thing. I know I do that too.
Experiences
people.
and their opinions
Yeah.
that they have, and they
Insecurities.
reflecting it onto you.
You don't believe it?
I'm trying to think about it as I don't think I believe that. I
So
think
like
you can.
the example that's top of mind, just because it's top of mind in the world right now, is like Just Hilarious. A lot of people have said that she looks manly, and so
Got a strong face.
Okay, and so people are
just lightened
saying,
it a little bit.
I don't think she looks manly though.
but
That's why
so
I said
people are saying that like
it's really her cheek. It's her bone structure is really straight. That's
so
why
people are
say
saying
that.
her desire
But
to like
she's a good-looking woman.
separate herself from trans women is because of the hurt of that, of being so much
That's a good example.
saying that you look like a boy or look like a man,
Right.
that you don't want to be associated, you don't want to be mistaken for a trans
That's
person.
one way to look at it.
Yeah.
Well, what if you look at it as she just really believes what she's saying?
Could be the case.
Two things.
And that's what I'm saying.
Right.
But I think people will lean towards what Sid said before.
I mean, I'm not going to fully discount that.
It's
Yeah.
like you
But
get
it
really
just
passionate
sounds like
about-
y'all sound like most like all the time is like that.
Yeah, I don't
just
think it's all the
believe
time.
that. I think sometimes when you like, if I got an opinion of you, it's not necessarily because
couldn't be
something is
based
wrong
on
with
any
me.
fact
Yeah,
about
like
you.
sometimes
It
it's
can
really just a fact.
So
Yeah.
when you joke about me not having a beard and I say you have no hairline,
I don't joke about you not. I joke about you not taking care of your beard. We can go ahead.
when I say you don't have a hairline, you take that personal because that's the insecurity. You want a hairline.
But is the
But is
beard
that what? Is
insecure
it
to you?
about to say that's the insecurity on you then? What are you insecure about when you talk about my hairline?
Oh.
You insecure about your beard, and that's why you go to.
Oh, yeah.
See, okay,
That's my comeback.
that shit.
Okay.
Yeah,
And right now I haven't been doing my
But
skin
so
routine.
are you saying that
So I went a little
he
stubble and-
brings up your beard because of his hairline? Because I think he's bringing up your beard because he's offended that your beard looks like that around him.
Again, I'm
still-
based in fact.
It's better.
I know, like I know.
I agree, it's better than that. But I
It's
don't
better.
think that initial comment is based on any insecurity
But if I
because
say
he
it-
got a full beard.
Yeah,
Like,
if I say the hairline, he comes
but that's
back with the beard.
again, that's a reflection on you.
But I
So
think
that's
he-
back to your point.
Yeah.
His original comment had nothing to do
But
with
he
a
really
reflection
want-
on him.
Yeah, but
except the fact that it's offending.
But
him.
I insult his hairline because I want
you're
a beard.
offended.
But he'll
right.
insult my beard because he does want a hairline.
No,
You
it
don't
never.
want a hairline.
I don't want a
starts
hairline
with
anymore.
When did you stop?
I seen when I seen Nick's prices.
$72, yo.
that. That's ridiculous. Honestly, I can get a wash and blow dry and a silk press
Yeah.
for less than that. I could pay that with the tip.
$72.
I'm sorry, Nick catching strays. My bad.
I always catch
I know he don't give a
But
fuck.
yeah, I think like
I
even
know.
that exchange is a perfect example of like his initial comment about your beard is not a reflection of him, but your response is a reflection of you.
Yeah, because if I said that initially, I've not had hair for so long. I know I joke about it being a sore spot, but I don't care. Now I
He's like, I
can't
don't
see
even know how I
myself
look
with hair
right.
now.
Right.
Like, can y'all picture me with hair now?
Nope.
I actually had a picture.
Unless it's like a fade, maybe a fade.
A fade.
Maybe.
That was the ending of my hair journey.
It faded
I was getting
away.
fade, and then it all faded all the way because it was a low. It was a low fade. It was a ball fade on the side and low up top.
See, he looked like my friend right there from high school.
You love that picture, yo.
That's his favorite picture.
Yeah.
He
Wow.
got that in his locker.
The most trash beard picture. I get it
That's
though.
wild, Joe.
That's- yo,
But the
yo.
fact that Maul followed up was wild.
No, it was a style
It was
back
the
then.
thing, yeah.
was nuts.
Like this beard, I would have. Maul will tell you, I was fighting against letting my beard grow out. I if you remember, I used to always keep mine real low to when I first started growing.
Oh, wow,
beard.
really?
I kept it low to the thing, and it was like same beard, just low. And then Maul was
it
like, "You
wasn't
should
as
grow it out."
long.
I don't even know what made me grow it out one day. Then I just started getting.
The withdrawals thrown at you. You was like,
When
oh, maybe I'll keep this.
But it was at the college, so when I started growing out, I'm like, I got attention. I was like, "Oh, this is lit."
He went to Philly one time.
That's
Cause they've been doing
Sunni,
that for- they've
yeah, I
been
know.
doing
They
that
call it
forever.
Sunni.
Yeah.
I get mistaken for a Philly nigga too.
Because of the beard.
Yeah. Bald and beard? Hell yeah. Muslim? Q?
You like you like
Yo, the stereotypes I get.
a Q.
Eh, yeah.
Yeah.
Everybody think
The
I'm a
bald
Q.
and beard is very Q-ish.
I know that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that what is Bill Cosby?
And I'm a big guy, so they all like.
That's old Qs. That we talking about younger Qs.
Oh, wow.
I want they gotta wear that in that jacket. I feel bad for them. They do.
Didn't they just take? They probably
De-lettered them.
yeah.
You can't uncross the man. Y'all ain't got one of those, do y'all? That y'all got wearing y'all jacket like that, do y'all?
I don't-
That's
I'm
a-
sure we do though.
Yeah, that's a hard one.
I
to wear
can't
that
think of
jacket.
anybody off the top of my head, but I'm sure.
Yeah.
And the Delta's been cleaning up. Y'all got the judge.
Sure did.
Y'all went out and got. They recruiting.
Yo, they recruiting.
I said, "Oh shit! Look at Sid's gang."
Oh god.
They went out and said, "We need 3 substantial niggas." Like, 1,
Not
2, 3.
substantial niggas.
And you got them, yo.
Jesus.
And she killing. I was like, "Dang, y'all get an after she." Oh, that's a cheat code. You
What
got
you
an
talking
after they blew up. The judge on Supreme Court.
Oh,
Ketanji.
Ketanji.
Yeah.
They want to get Ketanji with a white husband. They didn't care. But anyway,
I mean, they got what's the vice president name?
who?
Kamala?
They got Kamala. So we all good. Kamala crossed in like college though. But
Yeah, she was
Howard.
yeah.
I could say a lot about that, but we ain't gonna talk about Kamala.
Yeah, she dated Montel Jordan.
She did? I missed
It's
that.
pictures of them together.
Montel Jordan's
That's
ill.
what's
A lot
up.
of people don't know that.
Yeah.
Montel Jordan? No, I'm talking about Montel, the TV show.
Oh no.
Because he's
Montel
ill.
Williams.
Montel Williams.
Yeah.
Because he's ill. He's actually from Maryland.
Yeah.
It's funny. Anyway, are we
I think
selfish?
He has MS.
Yeah, it is. Are we selfish? Yes, we're very selfish.
What makes you say that?
Well, I think we're just selfish because we care about we care about us more than we care about anything else. So
Oh, yeah, we went here before.
yeah, we went here. We're selfish. That's why we ain't gonna have a lack. It is a lack of community. I could talk about that because I realize that people won't do anything to inconvenience themselves. That's why I'm saying that, because I thought about that when I was having my son's birthday party. And my son's birthday party is rather large, so it took a lot of planning,
Status
executing.
symbol. Continue.
Now how?
Weird flex.
Having them big kids' birthday parties is absolutely a status symbol.
Yes.
I don't think so, guys.
You think he gonna remember either one of these parties?
I videoed him.
That's not remembering.
It's status.
It's status.
Because
but
you like,
continue.
look what I did for you, son.
Exactly.
You see how big this was?
Wow, I never thought about. I never did it that reason. I really.
I mean,
didn't.
I'm not saying that's your reason.
No, but say I didn't think about that. But what I will say is, we're not like our parents are past the cookout age. Like it's really time for us to start having cookouts
Yeah.
and hosting people and being the aunts and uncles. We are reluctantly trying to stay young.
I don't think it's reluctant. I think we are in a different time, and we have
But-
different pressures that they didn't have.
What pressures?
And I'm not.
What
you-
pressures do you think are different?
Student loans. Everybody don't have them, but most of us
Do.
in we dealing with it. We dealing with high interest rates. We dealt with COVID. We're dealing with
Because you can't have a cookout in an apartment. Like,
yeah.
I've seen
People can't buy houses right
I've
now.
seen it. Say it. I've
I don't
seen
want
it.
to sit on top
They
of
got
it.
that balcony
That's wild.
at the bottom.
I barely got a balcony. Like, ain't no way.
No, at the bottom. They're on the
I
bottom.
know.
It's a situation.
Guess they could have it at the community center too.
Yeah.
But
But you
But-
got to pay for that.
Wait, exactly.
Like
But
our community center, I think you gotta drop like $350.
They had issues. They had their own problems, and I'm not minimizing
But they
that.
did more with less.
Sure, but the expectation to go back to that was lower. Like they was fine with burgers, hot dogs, salad, beans.
Yep.
Like you didn't need too much.
When
Why
nobody
aren't you?
gluten free.
I didn't say I wasn't. I said
Are
the
you?
expectation.
But no, I'm not
Really?
gluten free. Oh, what'd you say?
I'm saying, are you fine with some of the standards of which our parents had in terms of if we have a cookout?
That's all I knew.
But
I
he's
think-
saying, are you fine with having that now? Like if you rolled up to a cookout and it was like the cookouts
Hamburgers,
were
hot dogs, chicken,
basic.
green beans. Yes, that's a lit cookout to me.
Yeah, so I guess we ain't the ones.
No, but like I said, I spoke about this before. I've gotten like feedback like, oh, your music wasn't hitting. It's like,
Leave.
y'all stressing me out. Like I'm trying to host this thing.
Oh, you saying
and y'all-
stress? I say
Yeah,
leave.
it causes me stress.
Oh, I say
But
leave.
I
Yeah.
think it's
You
just
don't
the
have to be there.
expectation of like what you want when you go to somebody's house or when you go to somebody's cookout. There's so much more that people expect now. Than
I
I
agree
feel
with
like
that.
when our parents would just be like, "Oh, I'm throwing something on the grill today. Swing on by." Like
We barely
they
even
didn't-
had music sometimes.
Right, that's what I'm saying. It wasn't about that. I don't remember music all the time, honestly. It was literally like, we throwing burgers on the grill. Come if you want.
And if it was music,
And don't expect much else.
if it was music, it was
Like
the
socialization.
it was
Right.
the radio.
We gonna play dominoes. We gonna play spades. We
So
gonna
why
play the
don't we-
radio.
we gonna talk shit,
So why
Yep.
don't we do that?
huh?
So why don't we do that?
Because like I said, I think people expect more.
My
now.
cookouts were like that when I was having them.
So why don't you?
Where I don't have them
It's
now.
too much of a is it too much of a undertaking?
It's a lot.
Inflation made them burgers more expensive too.
Yeah,
I just paid for some.
I do, and this might be a status thing, but I like real burgers too. Like that might be.
He like, don't be giving me them frozen patties.
You
I
don't
love-
like frozen burgers?
No, don't get me wrong.
He said
I'll
he'll
'em.
eat them,
No,
but what
I'll
he
eat 'em.
prefers.
But I prefer,
Yeah.
ground beef with the
That's a lot of work.
onions and green peppers and seasoning. Man. Yeah, I prefer that.
So that's what I'm saying. We don't. I think a lot of those times we won't do what sometimes our other generations did to create that sense of community.
Yeah, I think
We won't do it.
So-
at
won't
this
have
point
any-
we only do it
I don't know. I ain't want to
when it's like a birth. Like we only do it to celebrate something, birthday, 4th of July. Like we only do it instead of it being a random weekend.
Right.
However, I think part of that reason too is because like for our parents, brunch was not a thing. Like so, I feel like part of it is like we be doing other different things on weekends that our parents wasn't doing.
Yep.
And have more conflicts with other things going on that our parents didn't have. They was in the house, they was chilling, they was sitting on the porch. Like they wasn't doing all the stuff that we do now. Brunch was not a thing for
So we're
them.
too busy to have community.
I think it's a little bit of that, yes.
That's a problem.
But like
That's a problem.
you would have to prioritize community. You have to prioritize like, all right, first Sunday I'm having dinner. Everybody swing through. But you also have to have the money to afford that. So I think it's like a combination.
What's wrong with potlucking it?
I mean, it's nothing wrong with that. As long as you trust the people.
Nah,
That Sheila, I was about to say it. That's
You
the.
too
Because
bougie to
it's like, who
potluck.
brought this?
Oh yeah, everybody can't cook. I think we are too bougie for that.
You're too bougie to potluck, yo.
No, if you know, all right, I make good burgers, and you know you make
Right,
good
Maul's
green
bringing the
beans,
wings.
and Maul got the wings.
We making wings this week.
You know what I'm saying? If you know everybody make, that's fine. But it's like you don't want a whole bunch. Like you don't want to have something. You be like, all right, I'm having a cookout. Everybody bring a pot, a dish. You don't know what everybody gonna bring. Number
Especially
one,
when it's last minute.
yeah, you don't know what everybody gonna bring. And then if everybody bring the same thing, what? But even if everybody bring the same thing, all of them nasty, it's a waste of time.
But is that all worth not having community? Because at the end of the day, it's not.
No,
the
I'm
food.
not saying that it's worth it. I think we need some older people on this here podcast because we need to talk to them about like. One, I also think I remember living closer to some of my parents' friends, so it was also easier to just be like, "Oh, okay, I'm gonna swing through," like because we was 5-10 minutes away. So that's another thing. We don't live as close to the people that we have created some community with. It's no longer a community because of your location.
So like
We also have too much access to things
Each
to
other.
do.
each other.
I think that's the biggest part of it. Like
Yeah.
because like we can pick up Eventbrite and be like, okay, I want to go I want to go to a bar tonight.
Yeah.
And
Go to
they
a
look
party
like they
any
having
night.
something. Boom. Back then, it wasn't like that. It was
Right.
like if somebody having a cookout, like Sid saying, it's like just pull up.
That's
Yeah.
the event.
And that is the event, and you're not gonna come across nothing else for the most part.
Or
Unless somebody tell you.
if you want to drink, we in somebody's garage.
Yes. Yeah. So I think it's like the advances that we've made in other ways to socialize has hindered those community building ways that we socialize. Even though like Eventbrite, people definitely community build through those, especially like if you move to a new city and you don't know nobody. Some people definitely go out to those Eventbrite activities to find community. So like it's pros and cons to what we have now. But I think if we want to bring back any sense of the community that our parents had, we have to just be very, very intentional and be okay with who show up whenever we do something.
Yeah.
Because sometimes people, and we talked about this earlier, you get mad when certain people don't show up. You get mad when people show up empty-handed. Like, do you want their presence or not? Because that's really what community is. Community is not what they came with. It's that they came.
That's how I feel. I mean, I don't care. I can care less about like. I like people.
I'm not there yet.
And see, I'm there, but it come at a cost. It's expensive.
But that's why I like when I have events, I want to get to the point where I'm like, you'll just show up. I have everything. I have the liquor. I have everything. But my pockets ain't deep enough for that yet.
Right, but in the meanwhile, you can still have community. You don't have to have that. And I don't think people are expecting that of you. You're expecting it of yourself a lot of times.
Mm-hmm.
So when you say have community, you mean just socialization? Everybody just show up and
community is deeper than socialization.
So
because
like,
community is
like depend on each other. Like, can you take such and such to school today? Or can you watch my kid?
No, we ain't got
that.
People you can. That's what I'm saying. People you can actually lean on.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. We don't have community.
No, you're right.
So, for example, back in the day, if somebody's like, "Oh shoot, we need a babysitter," it was never pick up and go find a daycare. It was like, who mother is home,
or whose older kid
is home.
can take you and take $20.
That's where you're going.
Oh yeah, because they don't be
society
taking
has changed too, though. Like,
I don't think society has changed. I think we got more access. I think we got more scared because of the access. Because I don't think if you go to look at the data, it's not like they're going to say, "Oh no, things have spiked in the last 20 years." They're not. There's nothing that shows that.
So there's no data about
we've gotten scared,
molestation and all that.
No,
there's a lot of data out there.
No, we got numbers now. We didn't have the numbers.
Oh, so you're saying it was probably happening just as much, and we didn't have the data.
We didn't have the numbers. We didn't have the access. The access.
But that's why a lot of
us.
people are fucked up right now. So we got access to that information.
Correct that, yeah.
And we trying to correct it.
And only
but where is the not?
I don't know.
The overcorrection.
So I think this is another thing about it, right? I think our priorities have changed. So like, think about even when you were dating, people would judge if you were still living at home. But one thing about Jamal and his family, them living together, it helps with all the kids and it creates community amongst their family. Right. Because it's like, all right, who home? You gonna be here? Bet I can leave them here. Blah. It's easier for them to move throughout their lives.
But that's something that
have community with each other.
We were really big on multi-generational households.
But now people look down on you if you still live with your family. So that's why I say I think part of it is like costs have increases, priorities have changed. It's just a lot of things that has made it harder to have a community. Yeah.
And I think it works for us. When I say us, because we're older. Mm-hmm. As I had I've had a child, I said, "Dag, a lot of things that I experienced as a child, he will never experience. Yeah. He will never know the closeness of his cousins. He will never know this, that, and this." Because
he ain't got as many cousins.
Unless you make
first and foremost, you ain't got as many cousins. A lot of people I still know ain't got no kids.
Right. Your kid's gonna be the older kid.
Right. With the elder statesman right there, yeah.
But also, it's just like, it's just like you don't have this. So what happens is now you have to insert a lot of these morals and values that you picked up from that community. You have to still give it to the kid because then on the other side, you're like, "Dad, why you turn out like that?"
That's another hard thing.
His input wasn't the same.
Everybody picked up, or everybody is taking the values that they were given differently. So, like, for example, with gentle parenting, some people don't want to leave their kid with somebody that's going to beat their kid. So you do have to be more selective if you want your household to have this certain environment because that's what you learned to do better from how you were raised. So again, I just think it's a lot of different factors.
But is that selfish, though? I guess it is.
I don't know if I think wanting better for your children, so being more selective about where you drop them off is selfish. I think that's kind of selfless because it's easier to leave them with whoever.
I just think our generation has an overcorrection problem.
Sure, yeah.
We have a huge
we
overcorrection
don't find
problem.
in the middle, yeah.
We
I
don't
agree
find
with
a
that.
middle. So it's either nope, they was raping kids, or like you had that uncle that was handsy, right? I know it sounds crazy. Trigger warning. So it's like, nope, all the kids stay home now. Like, that can't be the answer.
Right.
Like, all the kids staying home now?
Yeah.
Then the kid grows up, you're like, Dad, they never want to leave their room. Why would they?
Yeah.
Delicate balance. That's why it's tough being a parent from what I hear.
Yeah.
From what I hear,
It's
too.
always about
That's what they tell me.
like I even think about, and I talk about this all the time, because my parents weren't home when I had to go to school a lot of the time. So we relied on like our pastor that lived 10 minutes away or my friend's parents. My parents would drop me off at their house at like 6 a.m. And then I would go, they would drop me off at school.
But even
And same with coming home from school. I would get dropped off at the elementary school, but we didn't have sidewalks. So every time, and that's the only reason I got a phone so young, because 10 was kind of young for our generation. But I never knew who was going to take me home. I always had to ask my parent. So it was helpful that we did. It was my dance teacher would take me home. Like all of these people around us, again, within a 10-minute radius.
community.
Right. But that I think a lot of times it's easier to create a community with those people that live near you, because it can be, can you go pick up Sydney from the school up the street, please? I'm not there yet, and I don't want her to be standing out there. It was easier to do that because they lived literally a couple blocks away.
You said it's with kids, but I think it's even with relationships, because what happens is it used to be where as though women that were in relationships, they congregated together. They figured out how to get through situations or life. Mm-hmm. Like they used to lean on each other a lot more than we don't lean on each other. We turn to the internet. We Google it.
I don't think that's true. I think we lean on the friends that we already had, and we're not always in the same relationship status.
That's always tricky, because I always feel like it's hard. You know, so, like for example, if you're not married and you lean on a non-married friend for relationship advice, they could give you valid advice. I will say,
yeah.
But
You're not gonna hear it all the time.
Sometimes you will.
Most of the
disagree.
time, you're not.
But
gonna
that's
hear
why
it.
my parents, like most of their friends, couples. Like they don't have. I think the only people they may
Yeah.
have that are
It's hard to
friends
keep-
that are
That's-
single, they from church.
That's also the difference in generations too, because back
A lot
then
of us are still
they
single.
just wanted to be like their ultimate. I mean, maybe not us
They
too,
wanted to get married
but their
when they were
ultimate
single.
goal was to get married, and it got married pretty early, even if it was no
So at this age,
Rhyme or
all their
reason.
friends was married, and all of them had at least one kid.
one or two kids.
Yeah.
Yep.
So that's what's different for us is that, unfortunately, a lot of us are still single.
But they also struggled to raise us.
Oh yeah, yeah,
And like you said,
That
maybe
was bad.
maybe it really is overcorrecting,
yeah.
but maybe it's not. Maybe it's.
Because some of it we can't control, like
Yeah.
how the cost of things have risen. We
But
can't.
that's my
control
whole
it.
point. Like
Yeah.
how we can't say it's selfish. I don't like that word selfish
That's why
when
I'm
it comes
like,
to this
can
stuff.
I see the selfish perspective from some avenues? Yes, but I think some of it is
Realistic.
selfless and realistic. I can't feed all y'all kids pizza every Friday because they eat
Right.
so much.
Yeah,
I can't afford
no,
it.
you can't.
So-
and I want you to be a little healthier than we were back in. I don't
Right.
want you to eat McDonald's every
And again,
night. And
that's selfless to me, that I'm gonna go out of my way to make sure I'm cooking for you maybe more than our parents did,
Exactly.
to make sure that you are healthy and that you get a well balanced meal. But again, that's not cheap.
see, it's selfless.
Yeah,
I like that.
I think it's a
I think
balance.
It's a
of the
balance
two.
of both. It's not
Of
just
like
one
priorities, because some of the priorities are like bougie things, and then others are we've prioritized it because we are trying to correct what we experience.
way. We don't want to relive what we. I mean, and it almost when we talk about it, it almost feels like we saying that like we had a hard.
No,
We
and
had it
that's not
hard
what I'm
growing
saying.
up,
But
and
you
that's not what we
learn-
trying to say. I want to make sure nobody is thinking that.
You learn from your experiences, so you do want to do things different.
Yeah.
But that's why, like, I don't even think that's unique to our generation, because that's why they always say that like grandparents are better to the grandkids than they were to their own kids, because they learn better.
Yeah,
they learn more.
exactly.
So they can be a better grandparent because they have experienced life and realize
They know what not to
I
do.
did this wrong.
Yep.
I did that right. We can adjust here, and so they do treat the grandkids better because they know better, and they should know better
And
at
they
that point.
should.
Right. So I don't think there's nothing wrong with that, and I don't think it's unique to our generation. I just think a lot of the other things are unique to our generation, which adds an extra layer to
I
it.
think that's the major part of it. Those
Yeah.
other things that add to us growing up. As I'm gonna say, we 30-year-old people, but I think we still growing up in a sense.
Yeah.
You
But
know what
I
I'm
think
saying?
for our parents at this age, they didn't feel like they were still growing up.
No,
Because Because at my age, my mom was married and done having
That's
kids.
what's crazy. When growing up, when I seen people our age, I was like, damn,
They
didn't.
grown. I'm
They
like, dang, that's
they
nothing
real
now.
grown.
Yeah.
But like our age,
Yeah, like our age. Like
still
they
don't feel
had
like an
kids.
adult.
They had all these kids and all that. You like, damn.
Yeah.
Like I thought they were like old. You know, now we get to the age. You're like, nah,
shit.
nigga, it was just regular.
I
Niggas.
couldn't afford everything that they did.
Yeah.
It's no way I could have been able to afford. At this age, my parents were now, I think, in their second home. They was married. They had 2 kids. Please. We was in dance, sports. The money. I can't. But I'm sure it was cheaper back then.
it wasn't cheaper. I think our expectations were different.
No, it was
No,
cheaper.
it was cheaper.
Was it cheaper?
Yeah.
Oh yeah. You talking about when gas was under $1?
Okay.
And then
Summer
and
camp
then-
was cheaper. After school programs was cheaper.
Yeah, the inflation, a bitch.
Yeah.
My mom showed me the receipt for our wedding.
Oh my God.
It's like $1,000.
I would have paid for a wedding today.
I told her
But like even
our
so again,
photographer was 10 times that almost.
expectations. People's weddings back then was not open bar. That was not a
Nope.
normal thing. Now you be
That's
looking
true,
forward to the
too.
open bar.
No,
So
weddings
it's-
weren't even a bar. Like we had no liquor. It was dry.
right.
Yeah.
I think my
Church
my
weddings.
parents said they had beer and wine. But like again, that's something that like maybe we prioritize things differently, and that's not a necessary thing that we prioritize. So again, I think it's just a balance.
I think
of,
it
like,
is necessary.
I mean, I agree. But is it necessary? It's
Not really
right.
necessary, but
Exactly.
it really is necessary.
Exactly.
So to me, that equals selfish. But I know we don't like to use that word, but it's still selfish. Whether it be a good selfish or bad.
I think in the literal definition of the word, I see what you're saying.
Mm-hmm.
The literal definition, it's selfish.
Yeah. But we also
But realism has to play a part in some
Right.
of it.
And how much things cost these days.
But we also have an inflated belief of ourselves. That is actually what millennials, they say, is the problem half the time. And that's where it's funny you put this article
Why
about
is it inflated?
narcissism. Because we were the generation told we could be all we can be. We were the generation
Again, that was a way they was trying to correct.
overcorrect.
Sure.
So therefore
That's why I don't think overcorrection is unique to our generation.
we think we all special. Well, we're not. We're special to somebody, some people. But you're not special as you think you are. And
You going to teach Saint that?
what?
That he's not special?
I know.
I think
can
I have to for his
be
survival.
what I want to be.
Because if I teach him that he's special, he'll go into the world thinking that everybody owes him something, like we did.
So you gonna say you a regular nigga?
No, I'm gonna say you're special to the people that love you. But there is a world, and it is competition out there.
It's a fine line, right?
I do think
Because if you saying if you
that could be demoralizing.
it can be if you really think about it, you telling them that you're not special, yo. You're
What's
not
the-
special, and he ingrains that into his head.
What's demoralizing also is thinking you're special and go through college and go through life and then on your ass. And
I
as an
agree.
adult.
That's why
But what
this
if
is it's
that don't
hard.
happen? What if
Yeah.
you think you special? You go
So you
through
saying-
college. You go
you
through
saying
life.
you bet for the other side.
No, I'm not saying I bet for either side. I just say I would rather uplift and give them optimism, and fine, they might
not-
fall
I'm
in
not
their
giving
face.
them-
I think it's
Pessimism.
optimism with a side of realism.
Yeah,
Be like, you're special, but you're not the only special one.
Right,
Right.
but also
You're
you
not
gotta
by
stay
it's
yourself
like
and
fightful.
praying
being
without works
special.
is dead. You
Yeah.
still
You have to
special,
work.
but you still gotta work for it.
You have to live up to your
Especially 'cause you
specialness.
Right, your potential. You gotta live up
You
to your
got-
potential.
yeah.
You gotta walk into your potential. You gotta do
Yeah.
things to prepare yourself to get
Because
what you want.
you
out of
already
life.
you have it. That's what I think. If I had a child, that's
You
what I
have
would
it,
be
yeah.
thinking. Like you have it. You are special.
Yeah.
But it's not going to be given to you.
Right.
Like
Right.
nothing's going to be given to you.
Right. But that's not what we were told. And that's why we're selfish. We were not told nothing. We were told.
No, I
They're
think
gonna
we
give
were
it to you.
told.
No, some more
wasn't
black
told
kids,
that.
I think, were told. It wasn't.
Yeah.
We have a special situation here in America.
It's like I
But-
wasn't told
That's
that.
how I got to college.
But overall, looking at millennials, they always say that we were the ones that got a gold star for being in 5th place and shit.
Oh yeah, participation trophies came with us. But again, overcorrection. That's why I just don't think
Overcorrection.
overcorrection is unique to our generation.
Right,
I think every generation overcorrects in different ways.
Right.
And we are always teetering. We're always trying to find a balance
The number one
because
overcorrection.
none of us know what we're doing.
No. And that's why I learned more as an adult. I'm stupid.
Too.
The number one overcorrection is like what women do to men. Like an independent woman is an overcorrection to men ain't shit. It's an overcorrection.
Oh.
I feel like they be going hand in hand. The independent women be saying niggas ain't shit.
Okay, so maybe the overcorrect. So the independent woman or the woman ain't shit. Let's put them over here.
Okay.
The overcorrection is these men were deadbeats. Mm-hmm. We didn't say some of these men were deadbeats. We said these men were deadbeats. Mm-hmm. Whereas the middle ground is like we both have to give. Mm-hmm. So no, we don't get nowhere because now you on your shit and I'm on my shit, and then what happens? We just grow further and further apart.
Yeah.
All right. So
I like that.
Wait, explain it because I wasn't with you at first. I was trying to connect dots. You connected dots well.
Because I was confused at first too.
Yeah.
I was like,
But I like that. I like that overcorrection. That's a huge thing we do.
Yeah.
Overcorrection, but also we're extremists. I'm not an extremist.
How do we know we overcorrecting?
We
though?
don't. That's why I said we're all.
Yeah,
none of us know what we doing.
Yeah,
we all trying to figure it out.
That's that meme.
That's why it's a teeter totter of. We just keep trying to figure out what works because, like for example, giving the participation trophies and the attendance awards. Now it's like, well, giving an attendance award isn't fair because, like, what if my child has some kind of disease and so they are actually sick some days, but they still getting their work done? They're never going to get perfect attendance. That's not fair. So now it's like another perspective of, is that award necessary at all? Yeah, but then the kids that's there every day is like, well, I want my attendance award. So like, we done came up with this award to
that is a
reward people coming every day, but now you have to think of the perspective of like people that can't.
No, status symbols oppression.
Oppression?
Oh hell yeah! People love being oppressed. They'll find their oppression.
Why is that a status symbol?
Okay, I can see that. People, especially white people,
I have celiacs, gluten. Like they'll find some shit. Like I got you. Oh, alopecia. I know alopecia is a thing, but like, all right. There's a lot of things that
was very specific.
I got eczema. I have eczema. Like you'll be in a weird thing about lunch. I have eczema. Is that what the fuck? Like, don't eat it. You don't gotta tell us. Just don't eat the shit. You don't realize people volunteer their illness to you.
Sometimes, yes. I think when it comes to food, it's right to ask. Though. No, we don't want them over there dying.
But there are non-gluten options. I'm gluten. Sorry.
Bless you.
Eat the lettuce and tomatoes.
Eat the lettuce and fucking tomatoes.
Yeah.
Don't tell me.
I still don't know what gluten is.
Is it seafood in it? Eat that. That don't got nothing in it. You don't deal with people like that?
Not that, but
oh my god.
Well, I think like in my cookouts, I'll always provide a vegetarian option, not gluten free. I ain't that far in there. But I used to be vegetarian, so I understand it. Like I'm the person that used to bring my own burgers to cookouts, or I would pre-eat because there wasn't much there that I could eat.
Or come to the meeting. All we have is pizza and wings. Whoop their lunch in their hand. Shut the fuck up and go sit down.
Why is that the lunch they always provide though?
Because it's cheap.
Because that happened this week at work. They brought pizza and I was like, sandwiches? Oh no, I brought my lunch. They was like, you don't want to come eat with us? I said, you want me to sit in the room with y'all all eating pizza and I brought this little salad? No, I'm not coming in there. Like, I'm gonna go talk to these other people that brought salad. You
don't deal with people that volunteer the oppression. They want to be oppressed.
I think that's a lot of white people.
I have lie disease. What the fuck is lie? Lie soap.
I guess so. I just never thought of it like that. Now I'm gonna be paying attention when people say
like
this
white
shit.
Women.
I have cuticleitis. Sometimes I have to put lotion on my cuticles. I do too. That's what cuticleitis is. What the fuck?
I put lotion on every day.
Yeah, you don't moisturize.
Do white people moisturize?
I don't know. We gotta find a white person.
And do we have a good white person to come on? I think I got one.
I think
the white people I do.
They purebred white.
They are purebred, but they wouldn't subscribe to this shit that we talking about.
Yeah, we need to find.
We need a regular white person.
Yeah, we need to find. Yeah, the thing is, the white people we would bring on will be more black adjacent.
I know. That's what I mean.
You need a lily white.
I feel like none of it. Nah.
They could trace their roots back to the home.
You don't
country.
have any? I feel like you had a whole bunch of them.
I do, but I don't know how we would get through a whole episode. In terms of like.
Sounds provocative.
You're white. Like he's gonna oppressor. Like
we not that tight.
Right.
We don't.
Who ain't?
Us. We not gonna go in on them like
you're
the oppressor. You might too. I'm not gonna call them an oppressor.
So no, I wouldn't do that.
I think I would.
I have one homegirl. I think I'll bring on here. She cool.
That's all we need is a cool regular white person. Like it ain't.
So we need one person to speak for all white people.
We can get two. Jamal got white people that he worked with, that he cool with.
Oh, for real?
They not speaking for all white people, so don't think that. If y'all want to come on,
No,
hit
they
us
are.
up.
They do that to us. No, they are.
That y'all do that to me.
Yeah, she's
Yeah,
controlling
well,
women.
yeah, duh. You are all black women.
Right.
Every one of them.
I know.
So they can be all white
Period.
people.
I know.
Do y'all think y'all narcissists?
No, me,
You're
I'm the
narcissist?
opposite. Please.
No.
I'm still working on myself. I don't know. You think I am?
It's good that you admit that you're still working on it.
I think I might be, but I'm not as vain as I used to be. I'm real chill now.
You finally accepted because you weren't accepting it before.
Right. That's why I say it's good that you like admit
But also,
that you're working on it.
I always say this podcast has helped me accept a lot of things. Like I've accepted. I used to think that everybody works as hard as me. I used to think people have the same goals as me. I don't project anymore. I just go with the flow.
That's
I
great.
become more lax.
That's great.
You don't realize that?
Yeah.
I do, because I can tell by how often the podcast he posts.
That's a part of it.
Yeah, I can tell. But you see, I won't complain about it because I don't do anything to help it. Because I've tried. No, you ain't let me finish. I've tried, and you don't relinquish.
No.
Yeah.
Ooh, see, I wasn't even gonna go here. Why he wouldn't go
We
here?
here?
We're there.
All right, that's another episode of Unsolicited Views.
Peace.
We out.
Deuce.
Chia. So you don't see vision like that's already.